Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today, we are re-exploring one of the most important developments in modern military power, China's new supercarrier, Fujian, and how it compares to America as Ford-class aircraft carriers. This isn't just a tale of two ships. It's a story about technology, strategy, and the shifting balance of power on the high seas. For over 70 years, the United States Navy has been the uncontested ruler of the oceans. Its aircraft carriers have projected power across the globe, from the Pacific to the Persian Gulf, serving as floating fortresses of air superiority. But now, China is entering the competition, determined to close the gap and redefine the future of naval warfare. Let's start by understanding why the Fujian matters. The Fujian, also known as the Type 003, is the most advanced and ambitious warship ever built by China. It's a technological leap over its predecessors, the Liaoning and Shandong, both of which were based on older Soviet designs. The Fujian represents a fully homegrown Chinese design, larger, more capable, and far more sophisticated, at approximately 316 meters in length and displacing around 80,000 tons. The Fujian is a true supercarrier that's only slightly smaller than the American Ford class, which stretches 337 meters and weighs in at about 100,000 tons. The difference may not sound dramatic, but in naval terms, those few thousand tons translate into greater endurance, more aircraft, and more power. However, what truly makes the Fujian a milestone is its launch technology. China's earlier carriers used a ski jump ramp, which limited aircraft weight and fuel loads. The Fujian, for the first time, features EMALS electromagnetic aircraft launch systems, just like the U.S. Ford class. This system uses electromagnetic energy to catapult aircraft off the deck at high speed, replacing the traditional steam catapult. It allows for smoother, faster, and more powerful launches. More importantly, it enables heavier aircraft to take off, including fully loaded fighter jets and early warning planes. This single upgrade brings China's carrier capabilities much closer to American standards. Now, let's take a closer look at the power behind these giants. The Ford-class carriers are nuclear-powered, each fitted with two A-1B reactors that can operate for more than 2 decades without refueling. This gives them unlimited range and incredible endurance. They can remain at sea for months, moving anywhere in the world without needing to stop for fuel. The Fujian, on the other hand, is conventionally powered, most likely using a combination of gas turbines and diesel generators. While this setup is modern and efficient, it does mean the carrier must refuel periodically. That limits its operational range, making it better suited for regional dominance rather than global projection. So, while the Ford class can patrol the Atlantic, Pacific, and Indian Oceans without pause, the Fujian will likely focus on the Western Pacific, the South China Sea, Taiwan Strait, and East China Sea. That reflects Beijing's current naval strategy, to secure its near seas first, then gradually expand outward. Now, what about the aircraft that these supercarriers carry? For the United States, the Ford class serves as a floating airbase for around 75 to 90 aircraft. This includes FA-18 Super Hornets, EA-18G Growlers for electronic warfare, E-2D Hawkeyes for airborne early warning, MH-60RS Seahawks for anti-submarine operations, and now, the F-35C Lightning II, America's stealth carrier jet. These planes work as part of an integrated system backed by decades of combat experience and training. The Fujian's air wing, while smaller, is a major step forward for China. It will likely carry around 60 aircraft, including the upgraded J-15T, a catapult-capable variant of the J-15 fighter, the stealthy J-35, China's answer to the F-35C, and the KJ-600, a carrier-based early warning aircraft comparable to the US E-2D Hawkeye. China has also been developing drones and support helicopters to operate from its carriers, signaling a shift toward more advanced, networked warfare. However, what the Fujian lacks right now is experience. The U.S. Navy has been conducting carrier operations since World War II, mastering the art of launching, recovering, and maintaining aircraft at sea. China is still relatively new to this, with its first carrier entering service only in 2012. So, while the Fujian brings modern hardware, the United States maintains an enormous lead in carrier aviation expertise. Next, let's look at onboard systems and automation. The Ford class represents a complete redesign of the traditional carrier layout. It features EMALS catapults, advanced arresting gear, and high-efficiency weapons elevators that move ammunition more safely and quickly. These systems make flight operations smoother and increase sortie generation, meaning more planes can take off and land in less time. The Ford class can reportedly generate up to 160 sorties in 12 hours, surging to around 270 sorties per day in high-tempo combat. The Fujian also boasts automation and advanced sensors, including active electronically scanned array (AESA) radars, giving it strong detection and tracking capabilities. It features 3 EMALS catapults and 4 arresting wires, as well as 2 aircraft elevators to move jets from the hangar to the flight deck. But again, these systems are new and untested in long-term deployments. The Fujian only began sea trials in 2024, so its real-world performance remains to be seen. From a crew and defense perspective, the Ford class typically operates with around 4,500 personnel, including ship, crew, and air wing. The Fujian will likely carry 2,500 to 3,000 crew, reflecting China's push for automation and efficiency. For defense, both carriers rely on close-line weapon systems, SIBs, and missile defenses. The Fujian carries the Type 1130 Gatling gun and HHQ-10 missiles, while the Ford class uses Phalanx, CIWS, and RIM-116 rolling airframe missiles. Of course, both ships would rarely operate alone. They're the centerpiece of a carrier strike group, surrounded by destroyers, submarines, and supply ships providing additional protection and firepower. Now, let's move to the strategic picture. For the United States, carriers are global instruments of power. They're used to project strength, deter adversaries, and reassure allies. A U.S. carrier's presence near any coastline immediately shifts the balance of power. It's both a military tool and a diplomatic signal. For China, the Fujian serves a more regional, yet equally important, role. It's a deterrent, a message to the world that China can defend its interests beyond its shores. It supports Beijing's long-term goals in the South China Sea, Taiwan, and the Western Pacific. The Fujian also fits into China's broader effort to build a blue water navy, one that can protect overseas trade routes, secure maritime energy supplies, and support its global Belt and Road initiatives. However, to truly rival the U.S. Navy, China will need more than one supercarrier. It will need global bases, logistics networks, and decades of operational experience, something that can't be built overnight. Now, let's talk numbers and costs. Each Ford-class carrier costs an astonishing $13 billion USD to build. The Fujian is estimated to cost between $3 and $4 billion, thanks to lower production and labor costs. The U.S. Navy currently operates 11 nuclear-powered carriers, while China has 3 in total, the Liaoning, Shandong, and Fujian, but China's shipyards are expanding rapidly. The next carrier, reportedly Type 004, is expected to be nuclear-powered and even more capable. In short, China is catching up fast. So, what does this all mean for the future? The Fujian doesn't yet match the Ford class in power or range, but it narrows the gap significantly. It represents China's determination to achieve naval parity, not just to defend its borders, but to shape global maritime security. The Ford class, meanwhile, remains the world's gold standard for carrier technology. It embodies decades of refinement, unmatched operational experience, and a global support network that no other navy can replicate. This comparison, Fujian versus Ford class, is about more than who has the better ship. It's about two visions of global power, one established, one emerging. And as both nations expand their fleets, the oceans of the 21st century are becoming the stage for a new kind of competition, one that will define global security for decades to come. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this analysis, make sure to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more deep dives into global defense, technology, and geopolitics. Until next time, stay informed, stay curious.